right. Hello, and welcome to Psi Divine. What's going on? All right. Hopefully, the sound is okay. I'm leaving this message here, requested reading for the masculine, and then later on tonight, I'm going to do reading for just the ladies. But the question from the masculine energy was regarding the love life and what's up with that, and why it's so difficult going on in the world of love and relations, what's coming ahead, or whatever messages you need at this time. Masculine. But I also get the energy of why love isn't working for you. So I'm going to start with the letters, which I haven't done a letter reading in a while. And let's see what messages come out for you in letters and cards. And I'll try to make this as quick as I can. But whoever sees it, this might be your data too. Because it does feel like collective knowledge for the masculines who are having calamities and difficulties in love. Okay? So let's have a look at the overall energy for you, bros. And for the ladies, you can get a little idea of the masculine's energy in the dating world. Now, this is just about single folks, not y'all cheating, okay? Ooh, unable to come together, okay? It's the general mindset of the men in the world who ain't dating and it ain't going well. You'd like to, but what's the general energy? Ooh. Okay, so the feminines. I wonder if this would be better if I close my shade. That's great. There we go. Okay. Hello, everyone. All right. So the goddesses, the ladies, they have options. What's up with that, right? Signs ignored, poor communication, or no communication. So, fellas, you're in a world where the ladies have options, right? And there's the options of paying attention to all the options or ignoring the signs, poor communication. There is a lack of love in the world going on. And the feminine might be feeling drained or feel like she's being given a very small value. Hello, DD. What's good, goddess? Oh my. Okay, hater alert. Masculine, the goddesses might be feeling like there's hate. Who the fuck is dating in that? I'm sorry to curse. Who is dating in this? Bad actions, okay? Ooh. And then the money. Tell me about the money. Masculine, some of y'all are too emotional about money. And there may be, it feels like some stall out energy, waiting to see what's next. And I hope, masculine, some of y'all ain't having success in relations or getting someone new because you're putting money first. Or you believe that okay, hold on. Masculine, some of y'all feel like getting or connecting with a woman is all about money. And so there's a energy of greed, selfishness, holding back, not wanting to connect because of money or the lack thereof. Again, there's a lot of mental break. The word that came through was disability. Some of you are overthinking the feminine. You're overthinking the goddess. And poor communication or emotional communication may be coming across as hatred towards the feminine energy as a whole. Not a hoe, but a whole. Masculine, some of you might be feeling like you need a certain amount of money to be with a woman. Or you may feel like you don't make enough. It keeps coming out. Emotions that are harmful matters. Some of y'all ain't healed. You ain't come through like mommy issues, ex-girlfriend or ex-wife issues. And so you're dragging that energy everywhere you go. Okay. Hello, Alan. Okay. Emotion again. Emotion, harmful emotions. Okay? Some of you, I know this is a harsh word to take, but masculine, for the one who was asking about this reading, you might not be really good with communication. And you have this overall energy, this umbrella, thinking about women. That ain't gonna help nothing. Okay, I'm gonna leave these right here. Okay, put that right there. I do feel like good communication and keeping your word is key. Hello, anybody? So let's see what else comes out here at this time for the masculines who are looking to have better connections with the feminines. Because your ass can't get no date now. Come on now. If you have a question at the end of the reading, whether it pertains to this subject or not, let me know, and then I'll answer your yes or no at the end. Okay? If you are new here, my letter readings are weird, but I usually consider the message full when all the letters match up, or when all the letters are being used. Okay? Message for the masculine. Nope. Okay, we had one fall out. All right. I do feel like somebody might need some help. A little chit chat on the sofa, a little counseling. First energy I get is masculine. Some of y'all are mean. You're mean. It sounds mean. Maybe the way you talk or communicate is mean and harsh a little bit. Or some of you might be listening to speakers or friends who are who don't like women or who haven't healed. So first, let's just get our general words. One letter left. Your vibe. Let me turn this so you can see. Okay, so what I'm sensing or seeing right here is your vibes. There's a vibe or a luck or a feeling of hope and interest that might have caved in. So if you got some past memories, be aware that sometimes that energy is visible. Some of you, masculine, some of you are still talking about your ex to others. Some of you have sworn off. Okay, masculine, some of you might have actually transmitted that out into the universe that you ain't with it, okay? You're over it. What I just heard was fuck bitches, get money. Some of that is visible. Okay, Alan, I see what you wrote. You've gotten over your ex-wife. Her loss. Do you see how you just said that? Do you see how you just wrote that? So your vibe, my love, my dear, might have caved in a little bit, right? You might not be wanting to put yourself out there or be open to love. And sometimes we have to get out there, right? We have to get out there and see what's out in the world. And listen, I'm no judgment. I don't date. I kind of have given up too. But that was about like 4 or 5 years ago. I am not interested. But when I hear you guys talk about women and you say you want relationships or you want a woman to come at you or be a certain way with you, you have to realize your energy has to be comforting. Your energy has to be open to that type of, you have to be receptive. You have to provide an environment that makes that type of energy come through. And see, look, you're just over it, Alan. Come on. Nothing out there. Okay. Something else going on right there, buddy. And you're kind of like this vow here. The universe is going to give you what you want. If you say there's nothing out there, then the universe goes, all right, cool. Subconscious says, okay, cool. We're just going to focus on nothingness. And this vibe, need to read that? We're going to look at this. That's the vibe. And I'm even going to take this out. Just so you know, that that's not good. Yeah, it keeps. Be aware of wrapping yourself in a situation, like creating your own. Okay, I talked about this yesterday in the reading. Spell casting. Alan. So what you're doing right now is spell casting, dear. Okay. As you write it, as you think it, so it is. Um, Second kind of message. Some of y'all be laying in bed thinking about this shit, or it's the lust of absence. I really want someone who does this, that. And that person, it's not a drive-through window. So if you are open to love, there is some stuff that kind of you need to work yourself through. Masculine, where's my pen? Ooh, okay. Sorry for the blur. Okay. So, in many instances, those of you that are having trouble dating, that desire of that includes absence, the lust of absence, like a weed, an ivy around the bed. Some of you are really just looking for sensual connections that you have high expectations of. And are you looking for the same thing that everybody else is looking for? Are your expectations too high? Let's look at where your mental energy is when it comes to love. What are the mental restraints or whatever? Right. So some of you, masculine, have a very all or nothing energy when it comes to love. These are high hopes, man. What's going on? Demanding, challenging. Some of you are very smart and you are trying to make love like something that perfect. It comes out of a book, and that's, come on. So there's a test you're not taking. And this test is mirroring what you put out, right? It's a little mirror right there. So you're attracting the energy that you're thinking about, you're focused on. If you think there's no one out there for you, what you may attract, even if it is coming in a person, that person may be feeling that way too. Or they may sense your energy of, there's nothing out there for me. And this isn't going to work. This is going to fall apart soon. Let me just start acting crazy a little at a time. Block. Ooh. So in the 5, and she's reverse over here. This is the trials and tribulations that accompany a reset, starting over. And it is, okay, I just heard it's expensive. So yeah, okay, dating can be expensive. Spending time with somebody who it isn't going to work out with, that is a great time investment and a financial investment. Although I will say, guys, it doesn't have to be. There, there are women out there who will do quality time things with you that don't cost $200 and $300 a meal. And a lot of you, sorry, masculines, don't be mad at me for saying this. A lot of you do put more energy and attraction into the woman that you have to jump through hoops to impress. Problem right there. So the reasons for love and logic, it's like you're assigning a plan to it. And again, love and the person that's for you isn't going to come in by some textbook creation. So there's an element of yourself that you have to accept. And then there's all the society influences that you have to put down to the side. That way you can be who you are. The person who's going to be with you for life does need to know, what the normal you is like. Some of you have control issues too. Again, this is that textbook. It's got to be exactly the way I think, the way I want it. It should look like something that came off a movie, and that's not how it works. Somebody should act a certain way. And you forget that if you got some blockages, 99% of the time you're going to attract someone who also has blockages. And probably neither one of you wants to accept responsibility for the blockages your ass is bringing in. Blockages, baggage, whatever you want to call it. And it can turn into like a plant, like an ivy grows all around and all over. Some of you have learned the art of being an escapist. You've learned how to just hold things in and never express your feelings, or when you do express your feelings, you're maybe not the best at it, so it comes off in a way that might push someone back, or you might do it by ghosting, keeping secrets. There has to be better communication, I'm telling you. At this time in the world, the one thing that we lack to improve this realm is better communication. By now, just my personal belief, we should be so advanced as a species that we shouldn't even have to be talking to each other. We should just be able to like look at each other and have telepathic communications where we know what we need to know about each other. But here's your test again. Desires. Are you still carrying that old baggage? And if you can admit that you might still have a little bit of, okay, here's how you know, fellas. Here's how you know you got some baggage. If we talk about your ex right now, would you say, like what Alan said, I ain't with her no more, or I ain't with them no more, it's their loss? or it's over, or they did this to me, blah, blah, blah. If you're still in that mode, if someone asks you to talk about your ex and you can come up with a whole 15, 20 minutes of what they did, be fair and honest with yourself about that. If you can bring that up, if you can conversate about that nonstop, you don't need a break. You could just tell somebody all that your ex did to you. If you can do that, you have baggage. If you can do that, you got some blockages because you're still carrying that unresolved energy or somebody where it ended and you weren't made whole. You weren't restored. And that's not really how relationships work when they end. So you walk away with this energy of fuck that. I ain't never going to let nobody do that. You narrow the mind, Leo energy. But this is strength in reverse. The mind gets narrowed. Yes, but the ego inflates. The ego inflates. I'm not doing that shit no more. Fuck bitches. Get my money. Ain't nobody gonna do that. I'm not gonna put it. And she better be like, and what if she don't? And at the bottom of the deck, the ego. The ego's in reverse though. So the build of the ego, yes, the ego is getting bigger, but it's moving you down where you're not good, you're not healthy for a relationship, or you run people off. And the word vex is really catching my attention. So it's like a spell on yourself. This test keeps coming out. Your thoughts, your emotions bring about those behaviors, and that's the world. Some of you are aware of your greatness. You are. Let another person discover that in you, right? What you've been given, though, through bad relationships, and some of you, oh, hold on. Okay, what I heard is bullheaded. Some of you had a parent or a mother. Some of you experienced the bad sides of love watching a parent go through it, go through relationships or connections that didn't even fucking make sense. So how can you, if your first teacher wasn't successful in love, like, where are you supposed to get the correct data from? Like, where? Unfortunately, you do have to experience the data and make better choices. Okay, Alan, shares your 12-year-old son denying him his father. It's not right. You don't hate her. She gave you a wonderful son. Okay. There's still a process of completion you need to go through, though. You're putting emotional reasoning to it. And the narrow mind comes back. Some of you have just really, subconsciously or consciously, you've given up. And so your expectations or the bar in love might be so low that only an ant could pass through it or get under it. Let's see what else is here. So I don't like that word. guys are going to have to look this word up for yourself. Um, I don't know if I should read that. Some of you are going for high ego. You're going based on looks. And I know that is the very first thing that we notice with each other, right? It's the physical. That's the first thing you see. They look good, they look bad, they're large, they're small, they're pretty, or they're not pretty. My friends will think I'm cool if I date this one, and my family will love me if I choose that one. You're looking on the outside. Some of you are attracting vapid boxes. Some of you are just not taking your time being friends first. That's a thing. A lot of guys want friends with benefits, but you are not a fucking friend. You are not. You have no concept on how to be a friend to a woman or to someone that you're sexually interested in. I don't care what you say. I haven't seen it happen successfully yet. Being a friend and then getting the benefits out of it, somebody eventually is going to catch feelings. That's because a woman, and guys, you got to remember this. I'm going to tell you something. This is a secret, okay, y'all? Don't tell nobody. Fellas, this is a little secret. A man fucks with his dick. A woman fucks with her heart. A man gets with a woman for personal satisfaction. A woman gets with a man in a lot of cases for security. And that can be financial security, it can be love security, it can be the ideology of growing old with someone together, wanting to be with someone or wanting to have kids and a family. Yeah, there's a desire in a woman to do what a woman does. But if she has to spend her life protecting herself, defending herself, getting over being ghosted, hurt, dealing with the bad or this energy, the guys who want every thoughtless hole that they can get into, we see that. Women see y'all doing that, okay? And I'm speaking as take it from the chick who also has a second life as a model. 99.9% of the men I talk to throughout the day have their wang in their hands. Not literally, but sometimes. So I know the most carnal elements of mankind. I've known y'all for like a long, long time, like decades with an S. And a lot of you prefer what is easy, what is thoughtless. You prefer less communication. You want your action. You want what looks good. The thought process that that chick might be the craziest person you ever met, that is not your first thought before you throw Mr. Happy into the tornado. And you know who I'm talking about when I say Mr. Happy in your pants. Okay? And so a lot of you choose women that have shown, you choose women partners, sorry, new day and age. A lot of you will choose a partner based on how they look in a skirt or in a nice purse. You know what I'm saying? It looks good. Your friends are impressed. And you ain't laying in bed with your friends. Many of you miss the good woman who might need a good man to create that fixer upper beauty effect your ass is looking for. Some of you are looking for the energy of an overweight woman in a beautiful supermodel. And I'm speaking, listen, at one point in life, I was much bigger than I am now. And I can tell you the energy around looking at yourself in the mirror and then looking at a supermodel in a commercial, that energy has an effect. And it might make you a little bit, different, more receptive to any level of attention from a man. However, there's a lot of dudes that like big women. Uh, but you don't necessarily want to walk down an aisle with one. And I don't get that part. That's just the easiness. You want the ease, but you want the beauty. And one of those things might have to be sacrificed to get to the love you want. So a lot of y'all need to really sit down with yourself or a therapist and decide like what you want. Where do you want to be in 10 or 20 years when it comes to love? Because high probability the person you want is not in the package you're looking for. They're not. Now what? I see a lot of dudes on YouTube and other places talking about how you should be with a woman and what you should and shouldn't take from a woman, and women should act like this, and she's modeling on the internet, she's doing this, or she's got 5 kids and she's doing that. Like, listen, there's plenty of women out there who are single that y'all could be taking interest in. But because she doesn't look the way that chick in the magazine, or over here, the way she does, because she doesn't look the way you want her to look, you bypass all these good women that will cook, clean, love you, replicate with you. Yes, I said the word replicate because all of y'all don't even want to act like good daddies. I don't know what you're doing, Alan. I'm not speaking to you. But we all know that there's a lot of dudes that want all of the pleasure, but none of the responsibility. So when a woman has to deal with all of this, look good, go get surgery, like when a woman has to go get her body stuffed to get a man's attention and she's still not successful in relationships, like when a good dude shows up, when a real good man shows up, she has no idea what to do with him. Don't even know what that looks like. She only knows about the man that moves with the energy of lust. And that energy of lust means he got a nice car. He got a nice apartment. That energy of lust means he's wearing the nicest clothes. He's all about the acquisition. So when you're all about the acquisition, high probability you haven't really gotten to the part of maintenance. You're still working on the acquisition, and that's exciting. That's exciting. It's new. It's the love boat. It promises something for everyone. So there you are, masculine. Okay. You got to stop wanting every empty box. And I'm not calling all the women empty, but there's women who have their own issues to work through. And you're going to have to start listening. And I always say this to my guy friends: if you let a woman talk 48 hours before you throw Mr. Happy into the tornado, and I don't mean 2 days of knowing someone, I mean literally acquire on the phone, in person, build up an actual 48 hours of interaction. So if your first 5 dates are 4 hours each, you know what I'm saying? Do what you can in that time to listen to them talk. Ask them about their ex. Where do they want to be in 20 years? If they can't even answer those questions, or they're like, I don't know, you got your fucking answer. Eat your food and run. Don't put Mr. Happy in that. She's already told you she's empty. She's looking for somebody to fill the space. So unless you're into the acquisition and the maintenance, I think the maintenance should belong to both. That person where you're looking for something long and everlasting, they need to know where they're going to be in 20 years. They should have a desire. Where you're going to be in 5 years? Where you're going to be in 10 years? Masculine, what about you? Where do you see yourself in the next 10, 20? A lot of people only know where they're going to be tomorrow. And if that's what you're throwing Mr. Happy into, well, geez, no wonder relationships ain't working. Are you serious? Of course. So this desire for the empty box that you can fill up, I mean, that's not love. It's lust. And lust is desire. Desire, you don't desire anything after you filled your stomach, right? If you're hungry for food, you eat. After you eat and you're filled up and you're feeling good, most of us aren't sitting around going, dang, I sure want to eat again. Gee, I sure feel empty. I really want more food. Most of us aren't, most logical people ain't doing that, right? They're not. So once the desire has been met, and that desire in most cases is, it looks good, I want to touch. I want to touch it. I want to feel it. And then she's like, I want to touch it. I want to feel it too. And then you guys get together. And then afterward, you're like, well, she gave it to me. She must give it to everybody else. You see how you just overthought? And that might be the person for you. They might just have been smart enough or experienced enough to know exactly what they want. So there's so much emptiness in simple desire that I think it's worth 48 hours of getting to know someone to hear every wall you're going to hit and ask questions, let them talk, see how much they're interested in engaging you. Do they just, when you bring up an ex, oh, okay, tell me I personally like to ask this question. What's the worst thing an ex has ever done to you? That's probably not a first date question, but if you happen to get around there, then okay. What's the worst thing your ex has ever done to you? There's a high chance that person that you're talking to is going to tell you something off the wall. And after you hear that story, you want to hear what they did. Do they feel like they contributed to the event? Or were they with somebody who was violent or just selfish? I know everybody likes the word narcissist, but to me, narcissism is baseline selfish energy. So, did they experience someone cheating or just the worst? Listen to the worst because they're telling you what type of damage they have. And if they can go on and talk for an extended period of time, like I'm doing, just going on and on and on, they haven't even stopped for a break. You got somebody who hasn't healed. Are you listening? And so, whatever your intentions are, that person isn't ready for it yet. And at least in my humble opinion, your ideal person who's ready to experience and be open to learning and accepting what they contribute and wanting certain things and being good at expressing, that person is able to take some fault in whatever happened to them in the past with that worst ex story. Even if it is abuse, there should be some level of like, you know what? That happened. I stayed with that person too long. Should have been left. If it's all just they beat me, they hit me, they hurt me, they pushed me down a flight of stairs, blah, 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 and then there's nothing else after that statement, somebody hasn't healed. There should be like some resolve at the end of the worst ex story. There should be some self um, growth resolution. You should hear it. And you should be able to express in the same way too. So if you're still walking around like they did this to me and they did that to me and my ex fucked my best friend and blah 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 and you completely skip that you got a job that takes you out of town, 3 weeks out of each month and your wife was at home alone 99% of the day and you knew your friend was a dog and you asked him to check up on your woman while you're like, "What? You're not going to take no responsibility in none of that?" You lined them up with a predator and then left town. Alan, okay, like you said, yours wanted to control you, and you can't do that. But what was control? And did you see that? Did you see that energy before you threw Mr. Happy into the tornado? Did you see that energy before you decided to replicate? I'm going to guess maybe you did. And just possibility. Hi, maybe there's a possibility. And okay, you marry someone. And maybe before you get married and you walk down the aisle, you notice your partner is 150% involved in creating this perfect wedding day. One fucking day. It's got to look perfect. They got to wear this dress, and that's all they talk about. Even before they get the ring, that's what they want. They got fantasies and illusions of being married. You need to be double checking. Does your person really want you or do they want that dream date? Yours wanted to control you and you can't. I'm gonna. Okay. Did the control desires happen once they got pregnant and decided to stretch out their body to be with you? I mean, listen, high probability your person showed you their empty side before you decided to try to fill them up. And were you really and truly paying attention, or were you noticing how beautiful they were? So, dear masculine, there is definitely some, okay, what I just heard, one of y'all, whoever's hearing this, one of y'all got some dumbass friends and y'all all date alike anyway, and you don't have successful relationships because you might be getting advice from people who just want the skins. That's what I heard. So there's some bravery. There's bravery that has to come into love. Let me turn that. You married twice, but some's scared with you, and she ran. Real talk, you found yourself. Sounds like you leaving some data out of that statement. I don't know much further to go with this for masculine. What you're looking at, what you're going for in love might not be the best. And so there's some immaturity going on there. So there's definitely some some of y'all are just going to get your head out your pants, seriously. And I don't mean just Mr. Happy. I mean your wallet too. Let's get some angel advice for this. There is some self-correction that does need to happen. Some of you are operating off old family data. Be aware that if, okay, when you're out in the dating world, you, in many situations, will find comfort and connection with someone that reminds you of home. So sometimes you are dating your parents, not literally, but you're dating someone who is reminiscent or has qualities of a parent. That is what a lot of y'all are looking for. And because you grew up with that person and you didn't date your parent, you don't really know all the extra stuff that came with trying to be with them for the father or whoever was dating your parent. So this is the lower self right here, right? Losing yourself perhaps in the looks and attracting unhealthy people. So I'm going to say something real sharp to some of y'all. Some of y'all need to stop looking at beauty. Yep, I said it. And now I'm going to say something even worse. Sometimes a person who isn't a 10, but they're more like a 5, with a certain kind of love and environment, they can improve the looks if that's all you care about. But again, if it's all you care about, shit ain't gonna work no way because you're unhealthy. Some of you have this like dream idea of what your partner should look like, and that isn't fair to anybody that you're dating. That high expectation isn't fair to the person that you're trying to get involved with. So, as I said earlier, desire is still, I don't give a damn what you call it. Desiring anything is also being aware of the absence of what it is you desire. If I'm hungry and I desire a plate of delicious food, I am aware that I do not have a delicious plate of food. Evolve. So there is a change in thought that does need to happen. For some of you, the person you want, you're not going to get because of what you vibrate out of your mouth. Ooh, hope you don't have a social media page with that on there too. I'm not saying all of you, but masculine, one of you maybe even talks like failure. You don't even realize that you speak failure. And as I said before, spell casting. And this is old behavior. So you do have to change the way you speak. Some of y'all don't even look happy. You don't look happy. So you're not going to attract happy. So there's something else in life you need to be smiling about. And let that energy radiate around you. It can be felt. It can be felt, it can be seen, it's in your words. And no different than I would tell anybody else, you do have to learn to be happy and comfortable by yourself and with another person in your space. Right now, some of you are being gifted with no dates. And I know that's a harsh way of saying it, like it's just not a gift, but it kind of is because you're not being clouded by distortions, arguments, extended relationships that don't work. Some of you are being gifted a break from the cosmos so you can focus on your feelings and be aware of those ancient feelings, that old baggage, and how it, becomes your environment. Ooh, okay, hold on. For somebody, Masculine, for one of you, it's in your environment. Um, the block, your biggest block is in your environment. Some of you might have, be aware if you're dressing, it's summer. Be aware if you're dressing in dark colors or if it's in your environment, but I feel like this is furniture or what your home looks like. Is it dark? Open the windows, open the blinds, let some sunshine in. If you're dressing in dark clothing, hop on Amazon and buy a couple of white t-shirts and some lighter shorts or like what's that I don't know, some lighter colored clothes. Sometimes how we feel reflects outward to the clothing too. But there is a transformation a little bit that has to happen here. Some of you are choosing solitude, right? As you become more aware of yourself. But certainly don't be sitting around thinking about bad love because the subconscious 100% will respond to what you are focused on. Stop chasing failure. And those thoughts of it'll never work or everybody's like this or nobody wants you, those are failure thoughts. Your subconscious, and I ain't talking about nothing else. Your subconscious, the inner mind, the soul says, "Oh my God, okay, we got the telescope out and we got the microscope. What are we looking at? Failure? Okay, let's zoom in." Masculine, you already have all that you need. Be aware of the difference between needing love and wanting love. You technically only need to provide that for yourself and any children you've made. If you're in a marriage, this ain't reading it for you, no way. But for you single ones, you already have all that you need. So be clear on bringing new people into your life. Are you doing it because you're bored? Go volunteer somewhere. Are you doing it because you met somebody and you just have good energy with each other and it naturally grows into two people who hang out and get to know each other? Masculine, some of y'all really do need to talk to somebody. And not because they can help you, not just for that. Talking to somebody lets you vibrate outward how the fuck you sound. You might sound crazy as hell. You might sound blocked as hell. The words coming out of your mouth you might think are just general conversation, but it's not. And sometimes having somebody else tell you what you're saying is sabotage data. All you're talking about is failure. All you're talking about is what ended and what you're not going to do again. Sometimes you do need to hear your voice bouncing off of a wall or two just so you can go, ooh, that didn't sound good. Oh, yeah, that does sound dark. Some of you are being gifted sight after going through a period of hardship and suffering. Some of you do have um, a job you came here to do. It is to enlighten others and to maybe you have children. Alan. You might have children. So you volunteered or you are a part of a system of life, right? And so what you want to make sure you're not doing is creating this system of endings. Uh, yeah, okay, I'm reading what you wrote. So you've seen the good, you've seen the bad, you've seen the pretty and the ugly. And masculine, if you went through a breakup, if you went through a heavy breakup, like you said, Alan, you got married twice and it didn't work out, and now you're single like a Pringle. You got some baggage, buddy. I know you think you're a positive person, but I'm not going out on a date with you. But it is without question that you have some baggage. Period. You can argue all you want about it. We all have a little bit of baggage. It's just what we're doing with it next. Are we recognizing the baggage and making sure we're not beating the next person over the head with it? Are you going into relations and connections not really being honest about what you want and keeping it on a time sensitive situation? That I hope they change, I hope they grow, should have a time limitation on it for you too. Some of you ain't moving. You ain't doing nothing, no follow through. You might be better at stalling yourself than getting out there and meeting new people, new energies. Some of you have lost your gifts, or you feel like falling in love or chasing love is senseless to begin with. And that is evidence of baggage. That baggage doesn't have to have come from a bad relationship. That can be family baggage. That can be failed connections that build up into damage. And it puts you in a place where you're overly protective about yourself. Hello, Sagittarius Bell. How you doing? It's been 5 years. You're free of it. I don't have to trust you. The person you're looking at, the person you got to be with, has to trust you. And there's the vision. So whether it's through this reading or just life in general, I do feel like some of you you came into this realm with a gift, and you are looking for a specific soul. You are here in this realm. You came back looking for a specific person. And so the people you meet, you discover along the way, they're not who you're looking for. Your soul knows that. Divinity. So there is help that needs to be given to self as you expand. I do feel like something specific, I keep getting that message about happier environment, happier surrounding, not fake happy, just finding a place of contentment with the self. Okay? It can be felt. People can tell when you feel good with yourself. People can tell when you're being too egotistical and cut off. I'm never going to do that again. Nobody will ever get that over on me again. Type of energy. People feel that. It's cut off energy. It's really cut off energy. 6, do you have any closing messages for the masculine? Ooh. Okay. Applause. Anything else?
Just do it!
Okay. Anything else? Side message, masculine. Some of you don't laugh enough throughout your day. Maybe you think it's okay to smile here and there. Maybe I'd be telling everybody this. You might need a comedy list of happiness and not a comedy list filled with anti-feminine jokes, weirdo. Anything else?
We've been tricked, we've been backstabbed, and we've been quite possibly bamboozled.
See, that's baggage right there. That's baggage. That's baggage. Somebody got over on you. Okay. Those are lessons. Every relationship isn't perfect. Coming out of that baggage, anything else?
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ. Okay. Anything else?
Bruh, look at this dude. Wait till you see the. No, 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 no. Look at the top of his head. Look at his lips.
Some of y'all are way too focused on how you look. The person who's, listen, a lot of women can love some men of all types, irrespective of their looks. Your energy is great in art, and make sure you're not like, trying to get somebody who's out of your league and they think they're out of your league too. Ego is a thing. So that needs to be seen. That should be a little bit of a turn off also along the way. Just saying. One more message for the masculine.
I'll have two number nines, a number nine large, a number six with extra dip, a number seven, two number 45s,
Really?
one with cheese, and a large soda.
Greed. 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 Yeah. Masculine also, side message. Some of y'all, okay, as I said earlier, some of y'all's baggage comes from parents. Okay, so if you had a mama that took care of you and she washed your clothes and cleaned your room and put gas in your car beyond the year 18, there is a high chance your ass is looking for mama. Okay, and you want the type of care that Boom Shika, LaQuisha ain't fucking with you on. A lot of women do not want to do that. I don't want to wash your clothes. I want you to take care of the house, some stuff too. Be aware of some of you, whether you realize it or not, you may be looking for qualities that match your mama. And so what you will get is a bunch of people, a bunch of dates and a bunch of connections that are wavy as freak. Okay, they're wavy. They're not going to be good for you. They're not healthy. You don't deserve that. I don't think you should be dating someone who resembles a parent. That's too connected. That's hamster wheel data. There are experiences you do need to have in life. And I don't think somebody who matches the parent is always a good choice. If anything, fellas, if anything, choosing the woman who matches mom is eventually going to give you wood issues. Now I'm speaking, to my fellas. If you choose a woman that makes you remember mom, your dick's gonna stop working at a certain point. This is Madonna whore syndrome, as I call it. On one end, she's a gorgeous, she's got sex appeal, she's beautiful, you want to get with her. But then after she becomes too close, too caring, too concerned, or she replicates and makes little shadow figures of you, once that happens, your dick stops working because she reminds you completely of your mother. And unless you weirdo into that stuff, Mr. Happy doesn't want to bang your mom, okay? So you kind of do need somebody who isn't really replicating or reminding you of your mother. You're supposed to be expanding in other ways, right? And that includes the emotions too. So please be aware of when you catch yourself sitting with your person going, gosh, my mom does the exact same thing. Run. Run. High chance that's not your person. They're a good person to be with for a little while, but eventually, Mr. Happy's going to be like, damn, that reminds me of your mom too much, bro. I'm not even interested in this. Then you start cheating, you start looking out the front door, sex dwindles out because you look at this person who now reminds you of a parent. That is weird. Okay? And this is, I'm just telling you what I've chatted with a lot of y'all behind the scenes for over 20 years. And some of y'all don't have a problem telling me a thing. A lot of you ended up married too, or you made babies with somebody who reminded you of your mama. And you wonder why you can't have sex with them anymore, or you wonder why they turned into a motherly figure in your life, why they're bitchy, why they're looking over your shoulder, why they're up your ass 24 hours a day. Because they're like a parent, you ding dong. That's what you married. You chose somebody, and your mother probably approved, or she completely hated that person because it was a mirror. You went out and threw Mr. Happy into the mirror, and you brought home her twin. And that's probably one of the top 5 things that I listen to y'all talk about when y'all be like looking at my dirty pictures and stuff. And then y'all are like, I hate my wife. And then I feel bad and we talk for like 10 days. And I slowly try to help you realize you married your mama. You wanted somebody to wash your clothes, cook, clean. You wanted her to be motherly and pop out your kids. You wanted her to be that guiding member, that leader in the house. Not in life. You didn't want her to be a go getter, get out there and build a business. You wanted her to be just like mom. You want her to cook and make food that tastes just like mom used to make. That's what you wanted. So I don't, like that's rough. And what a that, I don't think I got spam calling me over here. I don't think that that's gonna get you far, really. It gets you a marriage, it gets you a family, it gets you the love, right? It gets you a mother. And gross. You're gonna stick Mr. Happy in there? Not forever. That person's gonna be a caring, loving provider, but so is your fucking mother. You want somebody that's growing at the same pace as you are. You don't want somebody who reminds you of home. That's hamster wheel data. It's comforting, it's soothing, probably not effective for a hard on. Okay, for a little while you can ignore it, but eventually that chicken noodle soup that they make, the way they love your children, um, it's the Madonna whore. Madonna on one end, whore on the other. She's a whore at the beginning. After that, she's Madonna, and I don't mean the singer Madonna. I mean she's on a pedestal. You don't want anyone to touch her, but neither do you. She loses sexuality with you. She loses sensuality after that point. And now you can get to the meat and potatoes of somebody who is treating you like a child. Now you can see all that those motherly energies. It's not good for an erection. It's just not good. Maybe it's cool for a little while, but the minute they pop out that child, up on the pedestal you go. And you don't tell her that because you probably don't call it Madonna or complex. But once she pops out that kid, or once she, becomes a nag, and you still don't want anybody to fuck her, it's still yours though. Up on that pedestal she goes. And once she goes up on that pedestal, Mr. Happy ain't doing all that. Mr. Happy's not even interested, bro. What's on the ground that's closer to us? Ooh, new booty, where's that at? I want to be a hot, sexy man again because I just took the main woman. I just took my whore and put her up on this pedestal over here. Now she's like the Madonna. I don't want anyone to touch her, but I ain't going to touch her either. How crazy is that? But a lot of y'all do it. So it's like punching in the air after you recognize the connection. It's all family ties at that point. So you do want to be paying attention to that when you are dating, fellas. If that woman reminds you of your mother, run. Be friends with her. She's going to help you, understand yourself from an adult perspective for sure. But don't break her heart. And maybe give greater consideration to how it's going to be in the long run with somebody who loves you, cares for you, will wash your clothes and clean up after you all day and make sure your dinner's where it's supposed to be when you get home. And they're watching the kids and all that stuff, and you've had a hard day. How you doing? That is your fucking mother. That is your mother. And Mr. Happy is not interested in that. He's not. I've chatted with y'all and Mr. Happy more than once. 20 plus years. Mr. Happy rarely wants to go into the tornado of mommy. So y'all got to be paying more attention. That woman, you ain't even ready for her. You're not mentally ready to keep the passion, to keep the sensuality. It's going to burn off super fast. And I'm not saying go for the absolute whore, because even the absolute whore might have that mommy, that mommy vibe. Really, that might be who she really is. Or you might be able to like slow her down to the point where she's like that mommy energy and Mr. Happy stops working. Any closing data with that for the masculine?
Hey, what's up? How you doing? You looking fine. Holy shit, you grew.
Holy shit, you grew. I'm not saying go for younger than you anyway. Anything else, 6?
Hold up. Wait a minute. Show that back.
Most of y'all be skipping over that too. Anything else?
Do you know what you're waiting?
Yeah, one of y'all got mommy syndrome. You got an energy where you want somebody that matches mom, and that even though you would be like, no, I don't want anybody who's like my mom. You want somebody who harnesses those same qualities. Oh yes, you do. You're not happy with the woman who don't cook. She don't know how to make that delicious apple pie like mom make. You want somebody who can do just those things. You want somebody who will keep the house clean, pay attention to you, drool all over you, tell you how great you are, be your biggest fan. That's your mother. And if your mother wasn't like that, you may be looking for somebody who will do what you thought mom should do. This is why it is good to spend those 48 hours. The friendship does need to be there, and it should be first. That way you got plenty of time to figure out, like, do I see myself with that person for the next 5 years? And have clear communications. Friends can have clear communications. People who are trying to fall in love are trying to fit into an image most of the time. That makes it difficult to be friends because you want to be perfect. So be aware of that, masculine. I hope that gives you a few things to consider when looking for love that ain't working. Okay. Gee, I hope that's helpful. And not trying to make you sound bad. Don't be thinking I'm talking crazy. Not trying to talk crazy, just, I think a lot of men are looking for mom, but they want her to look like Meg the Stallion. And then you get mad when you get Meg the Stallion because everybody else wanted Meg the Stallion. And then you slow Meg the Stallion down. You get her, you slow her down. She's not stallioning all over the place like she used to. And then she decides, you know what? You're the one for me. I'm going to make a smaller version of you Let's make a child together. And then you put her on a pedestal. You share your space and energy with her. And then you look at the next Meg the Stallion. And then you sit on the internet for the next 2 or 3 years staring at everybody who looked like Meg looked when you got with her. Because you enjoy the mommy part, but you really want the booty. This is a maturity. This is growth. You guys got to work on that. And it starts with communication. Clear, unadulterated, open-minded, and respectful, graceful communication. Because while you looking for mom, you are definitely attracting, you might possibly, okay, I don't want to say definitely. You might be attracting someone who's looking for daddy. Ain't y'all both crazy now? Both of you are crazy now because nobody's looking for an actual person who wants to be themselves. You want someone who fits into a certain idea. And lots of room for a hot mess, right? Lots of room for hot and messy. Lots of room to acquire and attract the Madonna or the whore that becomes your Madonna. And it falls apart anyway. And that's the 50% divorce rate ratio thing going on. Many men got attracted and fell in love and gave their hearts to their mother. And then you made her a mother. And now she really looks like your mother. Now she really looks like your mother. And then you realize, hey, I don't really want to bang my mom. Let me go look at this hot chick over here. Just pointing that out. Okay. More data as we go along with the readings. If you stayed this long, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Later on tonight, I will come back and do same reading for the ladies. I'm sure some of y'all dudes will be trying to listen in on that data too. But I want to make sure the reading is equal. So we'll come back and do something for the ladies. In love. All right. I hope everything else is well. I hope you are well. And we'll do this again a little bit later. Thank you guys for hanging out. I appreciate you so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Well, you already commented, so if you're new, please subscribe. It's helpful. All right. And I'll see you guys a little bit later for open readings and some feminine data. Talk to you guys later. Bye.